post, but nobody was on the deck, nobody was at the polling site. We didn't escort ICE workers, we didn't move the ballot boxes. So the whole thing was run by the populace. And December 2005 was, by and large, the most peaceful month we had the whole deployment as a battalion. That started to change in January when, in my opinion, Al-Qaeda became desperate. And I think from January 06, until August 06, September 06, which is when the Al-Anbar Awakening formally started, or at least was officially announced, that January to August, September period was a period of intense murder and intimidation by Al-Qaeda on the populace, because they panicked that the populace had demonstrated such willingness to cooperate with us in December 05. On January 5th, 2006, Al-Qaeda detonated a suicide vest bomb at the glass factory just outside Ramadi and Tamim. They killed 5 prominent sheikhs from this area, 1 former general officer from the old regime. And then in February, the 12th, the 14th, the 18th, that's when they detonated the bomb at the Samara Mosque, the Askaria Mosque in Samara, which of course, inflamed the whole country. But when you look at it in the historical context, which was too hard for us to get at that time, I believe November 28th, a movement surfaced that would later become called the Al-Anbar Awakening. The month of December and the first half of January was the proof of the power of the movement. Our tips increased tenfold during that month. The citizen cooperation was through the roof. The dynamics on the street, the atmospherics were friendly, relatively friendly. And because of that, Al-Qaeda launched a massive M&I campaign, murder and intimidation, which only destroyed their relationship more and more and more with the people, but it had the temporary effect of suppressing participation with Americans and inflaming sectarian hatred between Sunnis and Shiites across the country. But people just got sick of that by September 2006. And that's when Sheikh Sattar came to prominence after his father and 2 brothers were murdered in October 2006. Their bodies were not allowed to be buried. Muslim custom, this is a famous, well-known story. Sattar gives a face, a public face, and a very charismatic face to what I think most people think is a new movement, but I think is just tapping into existing dissatisfaction in the society at the time. And between September 2006 and March 2007, that's when Al-Qaeda was defeated in Anbar.
Okay, so you believe that everything, when I say everything, the Anbar Awakening actually started November 28, 2005.
Right, I believe it started in the fall of 2005, and the first time a public face emerged of it, although it wasn't called the Al-Anbar Awakening, that's a Sattar term. I think we became aware of it November 28th, 2005, but we didn't realize at the time that's what that was.
Okay. So you're saying the next few months were actually fairly quiet. Actually, you were saying that the day after the 28th, there was actually no attacks. But was there any significant events that occurred during December?
Yeah, for Lima Company, our worst attack happened on December 7th. We had 1 Marine killed, 5 Marines had their legs traumatically amputated from a series of IEDs. Several guys severely burned. That was the only violent incident of note that I remember from the whole month of December in the battalion.
Okay. Do you want to go into detail on that, or right now, or?
Sure.
Okay. If you don't mind, please just tell us what happened on December 7th.
It was actually a day that the Commandant of the Marine Corps came to visit on Hurricane Point, General Hagee, and the Marines went over to watch him and went about their daily business afterwards. The activity of the night was at around 8 p.m. Lima Mobile 1, half of my weapons platoon, had the mission to insert a force from 2nd Platoon into a firm base called Observation Post VA for Veterans Administration, named after the building it was located in. And Lima Mobile 1 escorted 2nd Platoon on up armored 7 tons down to OPVA, dropped them off. The plan was 2nd Platoon would wait 4 or 5 hours to make it impossible for the enemy to figure out how we were inserting, whether it was by truck or from a position. And then they would walk from OPVA down to a place where they'd establish an observation post for the night, watch for IED activity, people laying IEDs. Well, on the way down on MSR Michigan, Staff Sergeant Ledford saw a piece of debris on the side of the road that he thought was an IED, but it was too late to